Thank you very much. So we heard some personal stories, very inspiring today, and my involvement with the spinal cord injury community began 10 years ago when I joined ONWARD Medical, still working there now as a product manager, and I'll walk you through a bit what we do in the company. I was supposed to be joined by Louisa McGinn today as well from Spinal Research, but she was unable to make it due to medical reasons, but I'll try to cover for her in the last couple of slides. So at ONWARD, we're pioneering neuromodulation therapies to restore movement, function, and independence after a spinal cord injury. And we do this by developing 3 different platforms that deliver spinal cord stimulation. So the first one you see there is ARC-EX. That's our first commercial device that is indicated for improving hand sensation and strength. It's an external device, as Jesse had mentioned, placed on the skin. Then the one in the middle is ARC-IM, which is an implantable technology, with the first indication being to address blood pressure instability. And right now we're starting a large trial in order to bring that therapy to market. And the final one there is ARC-BCI, stands for brain-computer interface. That is at an even earlier stage in development that will be indicated to restore thought-driven mobility. And so at ONWARD, we're a global team of industry professionals, engineers, scientists, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and we all share the same vision, that empowered by independence, people with spinal cord injury will enjoy life in ways that matter to them. And across all our work, we try to involve people from the SII community like we have Jesse here. So ARC-EX is a non-invasive spinal cord stimulator for people with chronic, incomplete cervical spinal cord injuries. That's non-progressive injuries and C2 to C8 inclusive. And we've been cleared for improvement in hand sensation and strength in Europe and in the US, both for in-clinic and at-home use. And as Jesse already mentioned, we're actually hoping to expecting for this technology to be available in Ireland next month. So this is what the system looks like. The main part is the stimulator there in the middle. This is driving the electrical stimulation, and that's delivered through electrodes that are attached to the body. 2 active electrodes placed on above the cervical spinal cord, and then 2 return electrodes here placed on the hips. And all of this is controlled via applications through a tablet. So ARC-EX is electrical stimulation, but it's a novel therapy. Some of you may be familiar with other electrical stimulation devices that, for example, are placed on muscles and then cause those muscles to contract. But ARC-EX is different. We stimulate the spinal cord. And through stimulating the spinal cord, it's acting as a hearing aid to any signals that are still coming down from the brain. So even though they're weakened or interrupted, together with spinal cord stimulation, they're able to recreate that voluntary movement. And because we're not causing muscle contractions directly, it's important that an individual using ARC-EX participates in rehabilitation. So when we really see effect is in functional task practice combined with stimulation. So that means as we amplify these signals and an individual performs rehabilitation tasks, they're able to perform more tasks and in a better way than without stimulation. And so this combination is really what brings the benefits from our technology. And so what we saw was a promotion in volitional control of the hands and the arms. Right here I have a video of one of our early trial participants, where you will see, first of all, him trying to perform a task, a functional task, without stimulation. So this was day 10 of training alone, so training without stimulation. So he has difficulty grasping the ping pong balls. And on the first day with stimulation, we see a significant improvement. So of course, this wasn't the case for everybody. This is a very exceptional case where on the first day it's there and quite distinct improvement. But what we saw in the clinical trials was that people do benefit at some point during rehabilitation, but it's important to continue your PT and OT sessions. So the results of our large clinical trial were published in Nature Medicine. And what we saw, Jesse already touched on that, was that 90% of the 65 participants improved in either strength or function. And 87% of them reported an improvement in overall quality of life. We also had a participant that demonstrated improvements all the way up to 34 years post-injury. Importantly, there were no serious safety issues that were discovered during the trial, so it's a safe device. And participants also reported reduced spasm frequency, improved sleep, improved upper body sensation, such as sense of touch. And some examples of functional progress that was made during the study were things like lifting filled cups, pushing a button on a remote control, or picking objects up with a fork. So we then wanted to see what happened. So that study was performed in the clinic, and afterwards we wanted to understand what would happen if we provide somebody with this device at home. So we started another study which showed equally promising results. So participants were able to successfully use the device safely and effectively. And what we saw was that they used it at the same rate as they had in the clinic. So they were motivated to continue training at home. So high compliance to what was prescribed in terms of their therapy. What we did notice was in between, basically participants in the study didn't continue right after the clinic. Sometimes there was a couple of months break, so no rehab, no stimulation. We did see a slight decline in the benefits that they had gained. But what was very promising, what we see here, was that as soon as they restarted therapy at home, together with stimulation, they were able to recover that loss and even continue further on that path to recovery. So the final study that I would like to show you is one that was sponsored by Spinal Research, and it was performed, so Spinal Research is an organization based in the UK, and this study was conducted in a community rehabilitation setting. And what we saw here was that, so it was a study where RKX was combined with activity-based therapy, and we saw that it was well tolerated with no safety issues. Participants also adhered to a very intensive protocol of up to 120 sessions across 1 year, and that shows the feasibility for our technology to be used in community outpatient clinics. We saw significant motor, sensory, and functional improvements. And 3 participants even managed to improve their AIS classification from complete to incomplete. The last point there is that even after that year of training, participants did not reach a plateau in their recovery. So that's promising, and we believe that if they would have continued with training, they could improve further. So to close this onward part of the talk, since last year, the device is commercially available in the US and in Europe. It's being used by a large number of physiotherapists and occupational therapists. And we also have some users that are starting to benefit from the technology at home. And we're looking forward to having it available in Ireland very soon. And we have a booth right there at the end where you can see the device live and ask us any further questions. And this is where I would hand off normally to my colleague Louisa from Spinal Research. But instead, I will do my best to highlight some of the work that they do. We have a little video here.
It can happen to anyone. A spinal injury can happen to anyone. I basically walked out the front door and didn't walk back through it. I was 25. I was still living at my mum's at the time, but I was probably at the peak of my job at that point, and then to wake up and then realise that everything I worked for as a... that's gone. It's pretty crazy.
A spinal cord injury takes seconds. It can happen to anybody at any time. I do this work, my team do this job because we believe we can make a difference to people's lives.
Yeah, that's Kaylee. I don't know what I'd do about her, to be fair. So I was in hospital when we got together. Gave me a massive confidence boost. Like, I could still live my life. It isn't just over as soon as you're in a wheelchair. Before the accident, I see someone in a wheelchair, I just assume that they couldn't move their legs, but like there is so much more to it. And obviously the higher the injury, the more complications there can be. The nerve pain, the spasticity that you can get. Also the bowel and bladder situation where you have no control, really. You've got to keep to a routine. You have to use medication to help with that.
There are more connections in the spinal cord than there are stars in the sky. It is incredibly complicated. Spinal research are incredibly important to scientists in the UK and across the world. What sets spinal research apart is that they fund scientific research and they have a huge interaction with the scientists, the clinicians, and patients. Because they are fundamental in the field, they know everybody. They help make connections, which will make a benefit to patients' lives.
By Spinal Research funding the trial with the Pathfinder stimulator and giving me this opportunity, managed to get so much come back. Like, I've had muscle movements come back, sensation in bowel and bladder, which is the biggest thing. I've got so much confidence in myself, so much belief. Honestly, it makes me feel on cloud nine, really. Even the littlest thing gives you that independence back, and that's what people want.
I truly think that given time and resources, we truly can cure spinal cord injury. But in the meantime, and in getting to that point, we can make substantial differences to individuals' lives.
Try live a day, one day, in a similar situation to me and others in a wheelchair, and then tell me why you wouldn't want to help fund spinal research. The technology is there, it's just they need more funding. They need more help to help people. If these muscles are coming back with the help of a stimulator, anything is possible.
You can be part of the journey that delivers a hugely significant medical breakthrough for the 21st century. Together, we can cure paralysis.
So, Spinal Research Alliance is a UK-based organization that connects people with spinal cord injury, researchers, clinicians, and industry partners to come together to cure paralysis. And they fund promising research in spinal cord repair, such as RKX, and there are other technologies out there as well. And this year, they are raising £1 million in order to bring the next device closer to reality.